David McCallum, star of NCIS, the man from UNCLE, dies at 90. David McCallum, who starred as Illya Kuryakin alongside Robert Vaughn's Napoleon solo in the 1960s hit spy drama, The Man from UNCLE, and had a supporting role as pathologist Dr. Donald Mallard on the top-rated series NCIS decades later, died Monday of natural causes in New York City. He was 90. His son Peter made a statement on behalf of his family, saying, "He was the kindest, coolest, most patient and loving father. He always put family before self. He looked forward to any chance to connect with his grandchildren and had a unique bond with each of them. He and his youngest grandson could often be found in the corner of a room at family parties having deep philosophical conversations." Born in Scotland, McCallum got his big break in the US after a number of roles in British television. McCallum earned a pair of Emmy nominations for the show, and working steadily thereafter, including roles in the films The Great Escape and A Night to Remember. He also starred in a memorable episode of the eerie sci-fi anthology series The Outer Limits, The Sixth Finger, playing an ordinary man who volunteers to undergo evolutionary advancement at accelerated speed. McCallum returned to television in a starring role in the 1975 NBC series, The Invisible Man, but the show, despite its then breakthrough special effects, lasted a single season. His improbable last act in TV came with the CBS crime procedural, NCIS. McCallum played Chief Medical Examiner Donald Ducky Mallard, an eccentric and skilled professional who served as a patriarch to the show's investigators. McCallum is survived by his wife of 56 years, Catherine McCallum, 3 sons, his daughter Sophie McCallum, and 8 grandchildren. CBS said in a statement, "We are deeply saddened by the passing of David McCallum and privileged that CBS was his home for so many years. David was a gifted actor and author and beloved by many around the world. He led an incredible life, and his legacy will forever live on through his family and the countless hours on film and television that will never go away. We will miss his warmth and endearing sense of humor that lit up any room or soundstage he stepped onto, as well as the brilliant stories he often shared from a life well lived. Our hearts go out to his wife, Catherine, and his entire family, and all those who knew and loved David." In a 2012 interview, he explained to Variety's Chris Willman why he was still working after 6 decades in the business. "I'm doing it because I absolutely love what I'm doing. I'm doing what I was born to do. And I've done it when I joined Equity in 1946. And it's wonderful to have this show and this character at this point in my career. My life is dedicated to the new script coming through the door," he continued, "making sure that all the pathology is right, and then finding out how many words I have to learn for Ducky, which then translates into how many hours I have to do to work to get it in my head, and get it as best we can. It sometimes seems you go in, you have a couple of lines, and Polly talks all the time. Or other times you go into a scene, and you have 3 pages of detailed medical jargon, and I have to work really hard to get that, and make it sound glib, and make it sound as if I know what I'm doing." David Keith McCallum was born in Glasgow, Scotland, to a father who was first violinist for the London Philharmonic and a mother who was a cellist. Thus he originally pursued a career in music, training on the oboe and studying for a time at the Royal Academy of Music, though he soon left and enrolled at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. After RADA, he started performing with repertory theatre companies. But he had actually begun his professional acting career when he was 12, in 1946, performing for the BBC Radio Repertory Company. He made his screen debut in the BBC fantasy miniseries The Rose and the Ring in 1953. The young actor appeared in the big screen crime dramas The Secret Place, Hell Drivers, and Violent Playground in the late 50s, along with the Australian Western Robbery Under Arms, starring Peter Finch. In the 1958 film, A Night to Remember, about the Titanic, he had a small role as a wireless operator. He did a lot of British television at this stage in his career, including a 1959 BBC adaptation of Jean Anouilh's Antigone and BBC adaptations of Jane Austen's Emma in 1960 and Wuthering Heights in 1962. In 1961, he appeared in the stark, claustrophobic British-made World War II film, The Long and the Short and the Tall, along with Richard Harris, Richard Todd, and Lawrence Harvey, and he had supporting roles in Peter Ustinow's Billy Budd and John Huston's Freud the following year. As the world mourns the loss of David McCallum, a true legend in the world of entertainment, his legacy lives on through the countless hours of film and television that will continue to be cherished by generations to come. He leaves behind a remarkable body of work that spans over 6 decades, captivating audiences with his exceptional talent and charisma.